So many anime are ending soon, like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, JJK, even newer series like Chainsaw Man and Kaiju number 8. So in this video, I will be going over why this is happening and is this actually a good thing? To start off, the reason why this is happening is because the landscape of anime slash manga has completely changed. We went from series lasting literal decades to manga ending before season 1 is done wrapping up. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but this is literally true with Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 8 season 2 hasn't even come out yet, and the manga is almost ready to wrap up. We're almost a month away from JJK wrapping up, and we still haven't gotten a season 3 trailer. This would be like if the Dragon Ball Z manga wrapped up before Goku got to Namek. And what if I told you the reason why this dramatic shift occurred is because of merchandise sales? You gotta make that merch, put it on a t-shirt, let's go. Unlike book sales and TV deals, merch is almost evergreen to these series. What this means in business terms is that it's a product that continuously makes money with very little effort. What the industry realizes is that it's better to plant a bunch of small trees and cut them down than to plant one tree and just waiting for it to fall down. Now you might be asking, why can't they do both? Why can't they make new series while continuing the ones they've already created? Well, it's because there's only so much free time in the day to watch anime, and that free time is becoming more and more competitive. Why would I start a new series like Kaiju number 8 when I'm still watching Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia? With this new business structure, it's like, oh, My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan are over? Well, I'm still going to buy the merch, and I get to start this new series that if I like it, I will also buy the merch for. The simple fact is that merch is now the #1 way that these companies make money, and the merch doesn't stop flowing even when the series is over. It may slow down, but it will still continue to make money. Like, let me think of a random example, like Evangelion. Evangelion hasn't had anything new in years, but yet they make tons of money off of merch. Fun fact, you could live off of Evangelion merch because of how much there is of it. It's in Japan, but nevertheless, you could live off of it. You see, manga is no longer about selling books like when they made Naruto and Dragon Ball and Hunter x Hunter and One Piece. It's now about selling franchises. Manga sales only determine what becomes an anime. They could care less about the literal sales because that money is just chunk change to what they could make in merchandise. The reason why series were so long back in the day is because manga sales actually kind of mattered when it came to making money. You're more likely to continue reading a series than picking up an entirely new manga. That's why One Piece is consistently at #1, is because at this point, if you're reading One Piece, you are committed. You're definitely going to buy that next volume. The next question is, why is this all happening at the same time? But before I go over that, go check my friends out at Hello Games. If you love trading cards, you're going to love their card shop. Go check them out, links in the description. Now, back to the video. The reason why this is all happening right now is because this new business model is new and happened in the middle of a lot of these series. Think of anime like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and technically One Piece. I don't know if you should count One Piece really. One Piece is kind of an anomaly. It's lasted so long that it has gone through multiple different business structures and strategies that I wouldn't count it, but I understand if you would. The rest of these series came out with the assumption that they would have time to develop these stories, but towards the end, it definitely felt like they were being rushed, especially My Hero Academia. The newest set of anime, JJK, Chainsaw Man, and Kaiju number 8, understood that they would not get as much time to develop their stories as their predecessors. So they understood that they needed to condense their stories and focus on the main plot points. Now, do I think all these series ending at the exact same time was done on purpose? Probably not, because if you're a company and you're producing a product and all your best selling products end production at the exact same time, that's probably pretty scary for all the higher ups. That would be like if McDonald's ended the Happy Meal, McChicken, and their shakes all at the same time and replaced them with something like similar but different. That would be super scary for the higher ups to do all at once. Now I'm thinking about it, I don't know if that metaphor really works or not, but regardless, I think it's very clear that them all ending at the same time wasn't on purpose, but them ending a lot sooner than predicted is on purpose. Now, the final question we have to go over is this a good thing? And in my opinion, it is, but there are some downsides. Let's go over the downsides first. And the first downside I'm going to go over is the fact that this is going to lead to weaker individual fan bases. The reason why this is a bad thing is because if it has a weak fan base and the longer the series has been over, the less merch people are going to buy, which I don't think the higher ups at these companies realize that. Now, there's always going to be exceptions like Evangelion, but for the most part, the shorter the series, the more likely you are to forget about it or be less attached to it. For me, as an example, I am way more attached to Dragon Ball and Naruto than I am to like a series like Soul Eater. Don't get me wrong, I love Soul Eater, but you don't see any Soul Eater statues on my shelves. I do need to get more statues, and Soul Eater is definitely on my list, but when I only had so much money to build this studio, Soul Eater wasn't on the top of my list. The other problem is some stories need a lot more time to develop. Imagine if One Piece was only 100 to 200 episodes to tell its entire story. That would be almost a completely different series at that point. Now, one of the biggest positives to this business model is that it gives a greater chance to young mangaka to be able to tell their stories. Take Kagurabachi, for example. If you haven't heard about it, it's a great up-and-coming manga that will definitely get a anime adaptation. I cannot think of his name, but the mangaka is like super young and doesn't have much experience, but his manga has been blowing up, and the chances of that happening in the old business model is very unlikely. So overall, I believe that this business model is much better just on the fact that more creators are going to be able to tell their stories, which is always a good thing. If you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, and see you all next time, my fellow shinobi.